Yes, the title of this video is correct. It is possible to burn up to 326 calories extra without lifting a finger, even while eating the same amount of calories. That's like going to the gym to burn calories without actually having to go to the gym. I know, this may sound too good to be true, though I'm all about no BS. So this is actually based on science. There's a scientific study on this. It really all comes down to what you eat. Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Ingunn, a Norwegian Viking living in Canada. I'm here every week to share no BS truth and practical tips about weight loss, fitness, and healthy lifestyle. It's based on science because I'm a bit of a nerd. I have a master's in physics and mathematics, so I use all that critical analytical thinking to find the truth and bring it to you in a simple way. Now, how is it even possible to burn extra calories without exercising more and while eating the same amount of calories? Well, as mentioned, it really comes down to what you eat. First though, let's remember, to lose weight, we really want to consume less calories or fewer calories than our body burns or spends. Now, think about this. If we eat less food than we normally do, this may signal to the body that there is some sort of food shortage. So the body may see that as a sign that it needs to make sure we don't spend too much of what we already have, because there might not be a lot of food coming in the future. So the body may naturally start to spend less energy just to conserve the energy that we have already stored in our body, just in case we need it in the future because of food shortage. Of course, this is not what we want if our goal is to actually lose weight. So this just makes it so much more difficult to actually lose the weight. Now, here's the thing though, the amount of energy that our bodies spend can actually depend on the food that we eat. Not just the amount of calories, but the actual food itself. So the body may burn a certain amount of energy on one type of food, and if we eat a different type of food, even if it's the same amount of calories, our bodies may burn a different amount of calories. Crazy, right? Now, before we look at the actual study that showed that it was possible to burn up to 326 calories extra without exercising anymore and while eating the same amount of calories, and I'll tell you what type of food those people were eating as well, or what type of diet. Before though, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on notifications to be notified when I have new videos with lots more no BS truth and practical tips for you regarding weight loss, fitness, and healthy lifestyle. Now, the study I want to share with you looked at 3 different diets and how they affected people who had recently lost weight and wanted to maintain that recent weight loss. So 21 people completed the study, and first they lost 10 to 15% of their body weight. Then they wanted to maintain that weight loss, so they were put on 3 different diets, each of them for 4 weeks, and the order of each diet was randomly assigned to the participants. Now, the 3 different diets reflected diets that are commonly suggested or recommended for people who want to lose weight. Diet number 1 was a low-fat diet, diet number 2 was a low glycemic index diet, and diet number 3 was a very low-carb diet. Now, it's important to note that the participants ate the same amount of calories on each of those diets, the amount of calories needed to maintain the recent weight loss. Plus, their physical activity did not differ between each of those diets. Now, if we were to believe that all calories are equal, that a calorie is a calorie and that's it, then we would think, of course, that for each of these diets, because they ate the same amount of calories and they exercised the same amount, they would burn the same amount of calories, right? Well, what they found was that on average, the total energy expenditure, the energy that their bodies spent altogether, were 326 calories more on the very low carb diet compared to the low fat diet. That means that the participants burned more calories while eating a very low carb diet compared to a low fat diet. They just burned more calories, even though they ate the same amount of calories on those 2 diets. And by the way, 326 calories is per day. So they burned 326 calories on average extra per day. And as the authors of the study also commented, that amounts to an effect corresponding to the amount of energy typically expended in 1 hour of moderate intensity physical activity. That's 1 hour of exercise worth of calories burned without actually going to the gym. Now, they don't know exactly why this happens. Though, remember earlier when we talked about how the body might think that it needs to retain its energy to not burn as much energy when we eat less because it thinks that there might be some sort of food shortage? Well, it could be that the very low carb diet was so nutritious that the body didn't really think that there was a food shortage, though on the low fat diet it still thought there was a food shortage, so it needed to retain its energy. Actually, as the authors said, the low fat diet produced changes in energy expenditure and serum leptin that would predict weight regain. So if these people had continued on a low fat diet, they might have actually ended up gaining weight. That's pretty surprising, isn't it? Because what we're usually told to do when we want to lose weight is to eat a low fat diet, isn't it? Well, from what we've seen here today, it really seems like a very low carb diet may be a much better idea, especially when it comes to maintaining recent weight loss. When it comes to a low carb diet though, there are a few culprits to stay clear of and to be aware of because if you don't do it correctly, you might actually end up gaining weight even on a low carb diet. That's a topic for a different video though. A more general takeaway from all of this though, and one that I think is super important, no matter if you're trying to lose weight or just live a healthy lifestyle, is that I truly believe that what you eat is way more important than how much you eat. Even if you're trying to lose weight. Well, from what we've just seen here today, it really shows that a calorie is not just a calorie. It really depends on where that calorie comes from, on how it's going to act in your body. Now, I do want to mention that if you enjoy this kind of no BS information about weight loss, fitness, and healthy lifestyle, then do go and download my free guide called 3 Reasons People Fail at Dieting. In the guide, I do mention some of the things we've talked about here today, plus a lot more, including how it's possible to eat until you're full and still lose weight, and also eat food that tastes good and is healthy. And I'm definitely not talking about kale here. This guide is a great starting point to understand how conventional advice such as counting calories, exercising a lot, eating a low-fat diet, etc. may not be the best advice if you want to lose weight. It can be unnecessarily difficult to lose weight this way, and the results may just be mediocre, especially long term. The guide is free, so make sure you go and download the guide right now at vikingingun.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if so, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And I hope I see you in the next video. Bye!